So beyond finances, what personal or emotional details do people really underestimate the importance of when thinking about this process and the love letter?
I think when you're writing the love letter, certainly it's critical to talk about the financial components and those pieces in there. But it's also important to communicate your values. Who are you as a person? What do you hope for? What do you expect of your children, of your spouse? What is it that, I mean, if you were here, you would be facilitating a variety of things that support the family dynamic and the family culture, if you will. And if you're not there, you still want to make sure, hey, I really would love it if you would still go on the annual family trip where everybody gets together and use some of the money so that even though Aunt Susie can't afford it, make sure that you pay for her so she can go. It's whatever nuances and special things are for your family. And then it's also communicating to your children, if they're young, what your hopes and dreams of that are for them in their career, in their adventure, exploring the world, travel, in their marriage and a partner, what you hope for them. I mean, how does a little girl know what what her dad would hope for her, right, as a partner? You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know it all.
Yeah. So
Man,
it's
what an emotional piece this is just to think
yeah,
about it and
we're
apply to
both
my
crying.
own
So
my own life. I mean, right, we've all had loss, and what that would have meant years later,
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
So I know I touched on this question earlier, but I'm going to ask it more acutely this time. How do you recommend starting this conversation without it feeling morbid or overwhelming?
Um, I really have every conversation. Well, you mean as the child of somebody or as an advisor?
As the child of someone or as the person themselves, kind of addressing that whole like nobody really wants to think about their own demise, even though we all know. How do you, if you're a spouse, kind of encouraging your partner to do it, or if you got to talk yourself into it, or you're a kid, right, a child, and you're talking to mom or dad about this. How do you recommend starting the conversation?
Yeah.
I know I asked
I
before, but how do you recommend it? Like, just think about it person to person.
yeah. I don't go right to the, demise, right? I try not to focus on, "Hey, one day you're going to die. What's that going to look like and how do you want your stuff to go and do you want to be buried or cremated?" That's not going to be good. Um, so I would be having a conversation like, I often tell stories that are similar, situations that people can relate to, whether it's in fact true exactly or not. You can make up a fictitious friend. Hey, so and so is just going through this. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I would do. They left nothing, and so how do we know what she wants? We got three kids, and people are fighting over the Toyota Corolla, whatever it is, you use that as an example, and then you like look at your mom and you say, you know, "You have this stuff squared away?
Hmm.
Like, are you clear on where, you want things to go? And do you need to update that? And do you need my help?" Right? I would maybe do it something like that. Or you can, I mean, my book is I wrote my book, and the woman who encouraged me to write it, I said, she said, "You need to write a book." I said, "I'd rather do your tax return. Like, I don't really want to write a book." um, and but I wrote the book, and it's not really, I mean, you will accidentally learn some financial things. I promise you'll learn one or two things that'll help you, but it's not a technical financial book. It's built on stories, and it built on emotion, and it makes you think about how it applies to you. And I think that even just reading the love letter chapter, which is at the end, I talk about my dad's love letter, and then I talk about mine, right? So in the beginning I talk about my dad's, the end I talk about mine. And in mine, I say, okay, well, here's what I have, and here's why I have this kind of life insurance. And you can have to, so I give a little bit of education if you want to know, like, well, why did she pick that? Um, but it's really just communicating those different pieces and, sorry, I turn a little bit, and, communicating to your family is taking care of your people, right? That's it. Don't you wanna take care of your people?
Yeah, you do. I do too.